Kenneth Powell, the sprint king of India, represented Karnataka in 1964 Olympics held at Tokyo. He represented many international competitions in India and he hails from Karnataka KGF, and he gave his personal experience of the 1964 athlete performances and other things. He is a first class cricketer turned athlete of our state. Reference that one lady.
Interpreter. This is taken in Tokyo only. 1964 in Tokyo Games. How many call out the names? I don't know.
No, don't be. Just
There's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Kovacs. He was the Hungarian coach. He was in charge. He's the chief coach. He's also there in the photograph. Along with Mr. Chippapaya, who was the secretary of the Karnataka Athletic Association, vice president of the Athletic Federation of India, and manager of the Indian team to the 64 Olympic Games in Tokyo. Birthday.
70th birthday.
My birthday.
Okay. Name of her?
Daphne. Daphne. D-A-P-H. Yeah.
Okay. I thought.
This is at the airport in Germany.
Not visible properly.
This one is taken also the Berlin Stadium. I'm standing there. This is same team, no? That's
The same.
same as that one. Only thing I'm standing there, the extreme right. Extreme right.
Right. Then you give that photograph.
In 1963, Open, this is at Delhi, in
Delhi.
Open National at Delhi in Railway Stadium.
Railway Stadium.
And I'm a head of Prasad, ASV Prasad, who was regional director.
Yeah, ASV Prasad.
ASV Prasad and Nagabhushan.
Nagbhushan.
This is the 100 meter semi-final at national team. I went on to win the 100 meter and 200. This one is taken in the Berlin Olympic Stadium. This is the Berlin Games were held in 1936.
1936 Berlin Olympics.
So now I can see that next, standing from, this is from right to left, is Ajmer Singh. He's no more. He was a part of the 4x4 relay team. Then comes Satyanarayan, B.V. Satyanarayan. He was a long jumper, participated in the 60 and 64 Olympic Games. Then I think Gurbet, then it's a German athlete, a lady athlete. And then after it comes Gurbachan Singh Randhawa, the hurdler, 110 hurdler. Then it's Milka Singh, another German athlete. And I'm taking the photograph actually.
Okay, you're taking the photograph.
This is the state championships in 1964.
This is
this is
Chandrababu Naidu.
Yeah.
In Operation Games.
This was that Gandhiva something. Introduced something in Andhra, no? Anil Kumble. He started this some project called Gandhiva. So they asked me to a lot of
honor.
That's Chandrababu Naidu. This is state championships in 1964.
1954.
Yeah, you can see Ralph Miga. I don't know if you know Ralph Miga. This is 1962 India versus Germany meet at Chennai. No, this is relay. Sorry, this is Asian Games relay. And that's I'm handing out the baton. We got a bronze medal. Handing the baton to Ramasamy, AP Ramasamy. And that's the Pakistan team. They didn't qualify for the final. And this one, this is the start of the 100 meters India-German meet in Chennai, 1962.
1962.
And this is also in Andhra only.
No, this one. This is
captain of India versus Russian meet. India Russia. I'm flag bearer.
This is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flag bearer. This is India versus Russia. This is also taken in Chennai, 1965.
You hold it. Indoor.
Indo-Russian meet,
Indo-Russian
1965.
meet, you were the flag bearer of India. Right.
It's the same thing.
The same.
Government delegate, no, 96. So this Milka had come for that to inauguration of that midnight marathon. No?
I mean, there Satyanarayana is there, Sunil
Yeah.
Abhidam is there.
Yeah.
And who is the other one? Is this side? Left
I
side?
don't know, that's Bishan Singh Bedi award. I'm not sure.
Bishan Singh Bedi. Acha. Okay.
The 4 by 100 meter relay at the 1964 National Games at Calcutta. And when I got the baton, we were in third place.
Well, you are one of the anchor is Milka Singh.
Milka and of Punjab and Rajashekaran from Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu.
So I overtook both of them.
Yes.
The opening,
Off the track.
Yeah, the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
The thing that caught my eye was as we entered the stadium, they had these 5 Air Force jets, which formed the Olympic rings in the sky, and in color also, in the 5 colors. And the games village was really huge. So to walk from your quarters to the dining halls and all that was very difficult. So the organizers provided us with cycles. So we used to use cycles in the games village.
From game village.
Yeah, and there were 9 huge dining halls in the games village, and one was allocated to India because India took its own chef. So they used to provide us with Indian food, and a lot of people from other teams also, especially Anglo-Indians from the Australian team, the hockey team.
Yeah.
They used to come and have Indian food.
Yeah, because majority of them were from India. Or
Yeah,
they migrated from India.
Like there were three brothers from Jabalpur who played in the '64 Olympic Games. Pierce, they were known as the Pierce brothers. And a total of 5 of them played for Australia at some time. 3 played in 1 games. Altogether, 5 of them represented Australia.
Okay.
1993, I was selected. There was an invitation from East Africa to send a one-man team only. They only one-man team for their independence, which to be celebrated in 12th December 1963. So the federation selected me. I went there, and on the day I arrived, I was not supposed to participate in that event. I arrived there, and then they said there's a competition going on. Would you like to participate? I said, yeah, I don't mind. So I went. I didn't even have time to warm up. I just got out. I'm still in my ceremonial outfit, blazer and all. I went there, and I went straight away into the 100 meters without a warm up also, and I finished second. And half an hour later was the 220. Those are yards actually, 100 yards, 220 yards. And half an hour later, I won the 220 yards by about 5 yards. And 3 days later, in the international competition, I finished second. The person who won was the Commonwealth Games champion, Serafino Anto. He's of Indian origin, Goan, but he's migrated to Kenya. And he represented Kenya in the 62 Commonwealth Games, and he won the gold in both 100 and 200, 62 at Perth. Of course, he's no more now. And the person whom I beat was a Britisher, Ron Jones by name. He was the British and European champion that year when I beat him. And another person whom I beat was Omola from Uganda. He was a bronze medal winner in the 62 Commonwealth Games. And then I was selected for the tour of in Soviet Union in '66 and the Commonwealth Games. In fact, I was the captain of the athletic team, and I was the flag bearer of the Indian contingent at the '66 British. It was known as British Empire and Commonwealth Games in Kingston, Jamaica.
So we should be. You have been honored by giving the Indian flag to bear as a torch bearer.
Yeah.
So it is one of the rare moments, and nowadays
I'm the first person from the state to represent India at the Olympic Games and the Commonwealth Games. And I'm the first sports person to been conferred with the Arjuna Award.
Arjuna. You have been given Arjuna Award in the year
1965.
1965. Any other awards you have received?
Then I got this Rajasava Award in
That is
2018.
Karnataka, no, India.
No, I got this Marshall Tito Gold Medal,
Marshall
1965.
Tito Gold Medal.
1965.
Then, what do you expect in nowadays? Now the relay team has been qualified for the present Olympics. You mean that you are going to lose in the semi-finals or in
If they can get to the final, it will be quite an achievement.
Okay.
That is, getting to the final in any event at the Olympic Games is an achievement.
Okay.
In fact, even to just participate in the Olympic Games itself is a victory.
Big given. And now, sorry, I don't want to ask this. What is your age today?
I'm 81 now.
81. At the age of 81, you are still looks very energetic, and it looks like 60 or 65, and it will be definitely a boost to our youngsters to know about your this thing, which you have given the entry or the thing. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you can give your personal life also. That is your Mr. Madam and the children, or how many? Give me the detail.
We are now married. My wife and I are married 55 years.
Yeah.
And she was an athlete also. She
was an athlete.
She won the 100 meters in the state championships, state Olympic Games, that is, in 1964.
64.
Yeah. Then she was a all-round athlete. She won a bronze medal in the national school games in high jump.
High jump.
My sons, they were good athletes in school, but they didn't pursue a career after that. After school, they stopped.
Okay.
Both my sons were good. One eldest son in St. Joseph's, younger son St. Germain's.
Good. So, I am introducing Mr. Kenneth Powell, the sprinter of Karnataka, and also represented India in 1964 Olympics, Tokyo. And he will give his experience of his Tokyo Olympics and his teammates' explanation.
Well, I like to say that I became an athlete by chance, not by choice. Because I started my career as a cricketer. I was playing for the Indian Telephone Industries. I was opening bowler and middle order batsman, playing in the senior division. But despite good performances in the state league, most of the time getting 4 or 5 wickets, but I never got recognition. So on the advice of a cricket coach, Mr. Benjamin Frank by name, he himself was an outstanding cricketer, played for Bengal in the Ranji Trophy, and was the first Indian to get 100 against the 1948 West Indies team that had the famous 3 Ws, Worrell, Weeks and World Cup. So he said, if you don't have a godfather, you're not going to get a chance to play for the country. So better you switch to an individual sport. That's when I took his advice, moved to athletics, started training only at the age of 19. I did participate in school meet, annual school meet every year. And I used to win without training because I played so much of hockey and cricket. It kept me in good stead. And I was able to beat the best in the KGF. And we had brilliant sprinters in KGF. In fact, we had 3 Olympians from KGF. Father and son, Leslie Boozy, 1940, to be in Tokyo, 1940. But due to World War II, the games were cancelled and he couldn't go for the games. His son was a national champion in the same event, triple jump. Father was champion in 38, 39. Derek Boozy, the son, was champion in 61. And after that, he moved to UK and he represented Great Britain in the 1968 Mexico Olympic Games.
Right.
So my experience at Tokyo is a very simple thing. I ran the individual event, but we actually basically qualified for the relay, 4x100 relay. The qualifying standard was 41.2, which we achieved in the pre-Olympic trials here in Bangalore. And 3 months later, in the final trials at Patiala, we ran a 40.9. At Tokyo, we finished 5th in our heat. 5 teams from each heat to qualify with 1 fastest loser. So we finished 5th and we were automatically qualified for the semi-final. And in that first round, we beat Japan. Japan was the number one Asian team, and Ijima was ranked number one in 100 meters. In fact, I was in his heat. He won the heat in 10.3. And I clocked 10.7, but we ran on a rain-soaked track. It was ankle-deep water and a cinder track, not a synthetic track. And I beat two people who were ranked in the top 10 in the world. One was Sika of Poland, who was ranked number 10, and Ravel Manistozia of Madagascar, who was ranked number 8. So, on the basis of timing prior to the Olympic Games, I was supposed to be the slowest of the 8 runners, but I finished 4th in my heat.
Good.
And in the relay, the semi-final, again we beat Japan. We finished 7th. We finished 6th, and Japan finished 7th. And
So
we ran a 40.5 in the semi. It was a new Asian best time.
record. And who was your
Our teammates were the first leg was run by Anthony Francis Coutinho. Makan Singh was a common man. He ran both the relays, 4x100 and 4x4. So he ran the second leg. I ran the curve, the third leg, and Rajasekaran ran the final leg. Yeah.
I wanted to know who is your coach in athletics in the starting?
I started my career under Krishna. I don't know if you have heard of Krishna. St. Germain's. He was running a club called Rangers Athletic Club.
Correct.
Yeah.
Rangers.
So on the advice of another athlete, I joined that club and I started training under him.
I know he was a very good coach and a good starter.
31st July 1959 was when I started training for athletics.
So you are practicing at Kantirwa Stadium or in?
No, I practiced on this Anasami school ground. No? That is a 200-meter track. Anasami school. Anasami Mudle school. It's on Mosque Road. So it had only one lane it became a permanent, because constant use that became a permanent mark. So we only used that one lane throughout our training. If I went to Kantirwa Stadium, it was only for time trials. I used to go for 300-meter time trial. In those days, Indian Telephone Industries, because of power shortage, there was a staggered weekly offs for all the factories.
Yeah.
So our weekly off was Thursday. So every Thursday I used to go for a time trial to Kantirwa Stadium. Other than that, it was only here on this one lane grass track that I trained throughout my career. Russia. So I couldn't receive the award. So I had to nominate somebody. My wife's relative was living in Delhi. He received the award on my behalf.
You tell me that incident.
The reason I didn't get the award from the president was because the day of the ceremony, the athletic team was leaving for Russia and the Commonwealth Games. So on my behalf, my wife's relative collected the award.
Okay. Definitely, 100%. Why? Thanks. It is our duty to give you. What today?